formation of urea, all these things comes under protein metabolism. So we will start with the ammonia transportation, storage and its detoxification to urea. So this is what our topic is today. Okay. So first, before knowing about the urea cycle, we should know about the importance of ammonia also. So here I have mentioned the transportation of ammonia. So in the body, ammonia is formed from the various amino acids during the metabolism process. So proteins are the major sources of nitrogen, and amino acids are also major sources of nitrogen. This ammonia is formed mainly from the metabolism of proteins and amino acids by deamination process. Deamination can be of two types: oxidative deamination and non-oxidative deamination. So during these processes, this ammonia is formed as a byproduct. So this ammonia is very toxic to the body. So ammonia is highly toxic to the body. So it should be eliminated as and when it is formed. Even minute concentrations of ammonia is toxic to brain. Especially it is toxic to brain. Therefore, the intracellular ammonia, here NH3 I have written in the slides. NH3 means ammonia, or it is also written as NH4 plus. So even the small concentrations of ammonia is toxic to the brain. So the intracellular ammonia, intracellular means inside the cells. So this intracellular ammonia is immediately trapped by glutamic acid. So glutamic acid, you have studied the protein chemistry in your first year. In first year, you have studied the chemistry of proteins. There you have studied the classification of amino acids. This glutamic acid comes under acidic amino acids. We have two acidic amino acids: glutamic acid, aspartic acid. So in the intracellular atmosphere, this glutamic acid is the acidic amino acid which traps this ammonia immediately as and when it is formed. So this glutamic acid, by taking the ammonia group, it gets converted to glutamine. In the brain cells, this ammonia is trapped by this glutamic acid and it is converted to glutamine, and then from there it is transported to the liver. So this is how ammonia is detoxified in the body. First preliminary stage, first level of detoxification is trapping of this ammonia by glutamic acid and gets converted to glutamine, and from the brain cells it is transported to the liver. So glutamine is a amide form of the acidic amino acid. This is non-toxic form of the ammonia. So this is non-toxic to the body, so it can be stored and transported from the brain to the liver. So glutamine is a non-toxic compound, so it is trapping the ammonia and serves as a storage of ammonia, and then transportation of ammonia also takes place in the body in the form of glutamine. Now see here I have mentioned the whole detoxification process of ammonia. So in the brain, there is an enzyme called glutamine synthetase. So this glutamate traps this ammonia utilizing ATP molecule. So it gets converted to glutamine, and ATP is converted to ADP and inorganic phosphate. There is one water molecule formation is also there. And this glutamine in the liver, after transportation from the brain cells to the liver, this glutamine by the enzyme glutaminase, it is again converted back to glutamate. And in the liver, the formation of urea takes place. Urea is mainly synthesized in the liver. So all the glutamine that is collected from various body cells is transported to the liver, and in the liver, by the action of the enzyme glutaminase, this glutamine is converted to again glutamate and releases the ammonia, and released ammonia is uh, detoxified to urea in the liver cells. So site of synthesis of urea is liver, that you should remember. Okay, so this is a very important step for detoxification and for detoxification of ammonia and formation of urea. Now, transportation of ammonia. So it is already discussed inside the cells of almost all tissues. The transamination of amino acids produces glutamic acid. I told you transamination and deamination, especially oxidative deamination and trans deamination. So by these processes, the ammonia is formed during the transamination and deamination processes in the cells, in almost all the body cells. So, but glutamate dehydrogenase is available only in liver. So, this glutamate dehydrogenase is the enzyme which is mainly available in liver, which is responsible for the conversion of this ammonia. So, the final deamination and production of ammonia occurs mainly in the liver. Okay. Thus, glutamic acid is the major transport form of ammonia from tissues to the liver. So, from all the cells, this ammonia that is formed is trapped by the glutamic acid and converts it into glutamine and brings this glutamine comes from various tissues and cells of the body to the liver, and in the liver it is detoxified for the formation of urea. Okay. Here in this diagram you can see the various sources of formation of ammonia. Let's say in the brain, you see in the brain there is a purine nucleotide cycles, means we have studied about the synthesis and degradation of purines and pyrimidines. So this during the process of purine nucleotide synthesis, there is formation of fumarate from aspartate. So this fumarate that is formed in the brain, during this conversion process ammonia is formed, and in the skeletal muscle again purine nucleotide cycle takes place, again there is formation of ammonia. And conversion of glutamate, means this is transamination, glutamate to alpha ketoglutarate. So this is a transamination process. In transamination means one alpha amino acid is converted to keto amino acid. During this process ammonia is formed, and during the conversion of glutamine to glutamate, asparagine to aspartate also ammonia is released. And see, the formation of pyruvate from serine amino acid also involves the release of ammonia. Then conversion of threonine amino acid to alpha ketobutyrate also releases ammonia formation. And conversion of histidine amino acid to urocanate, this is catabolism of histidine amino acid, involves the formation of ammonia. And in the intestine also there is formation of urea by the intestinal bacteria. And intestinal bacteria utilizes various amino acids that are being present in the undigested food, and they also are responsible for formation of some amount of urea. From there they degrade this urea and releases ammonia. Intestinal bacteria act on this urea and they release some amount of ammonia. So this also contributes formation of ammonia in the gut cells, means intestinal cells. This is how ammonia is formed in various tissues, and this is been trapped in the form of glutamine, and finally it is transported to the liver for formation of urea. Now once this ammonia is formed, what is the fate of ammonia, means how this ammonia is going to be utilized or converted to other products in the body. That is what the fate of ammonia. So ammonia is mainly converted, used for the detoxification and is converted to urea. This is the detoxification process of ammonia by forming urea. Second one, ammonia can be taken up by the glutamine and asparagine formation. Means ammonia can be taken up by the amino acids, acidic amino acids, glutamate and aspartate, and they gets converted to glutamine and asparagine, because body needs nitrogen, and the source of nitrogen in the body is mainly available in the form of glutamine and asparagine. So because they can accommodate additional amino group, so they serves as a source of ammonia. They serves as source of ammonia storage in the body, and this amination of keto acids to form alpha amino acids is also requires ammonia. This means conversion of keto acid into a alpha amino acid requires ammonia. So ammonia is used in these reactions. So these are the main steps where this ammonia is utilized for various purposes. So finally, for detoxification, ammonia is converted to urea. That takes place in the liver. That point you should remember. Since this ammonia is highly toxic to the brain, it is constant, which is produced constantly in the body cells. It is present at very low levels in the blood. This has to be converted into other sources like glutamine, asparagine, and formation of urea. So the rapid disposal of blood ammonia as urea by liver takes place continuously. So because if it is present in high concentration, it is toxic, so it has to be removed from the blood. So it is converted to urea very rapidly by the liver cells, and quantitatively this is most important disposal route of ammonia also. So quantitatively this is the most important disposal route of ammonia. Now I'm not going in details about these disposal of ammonia into other sources like glutamine and asparagine in other body cells. Now directly we will go to the formation of urea. So this is called as urea cycle. This is very important, even for the exam point of view also this is very important. Now in this slide you can see the structure of urea. C double bond O, NH2, NH2. So this is the structure of urea. One C carbon atom linked to oxygen by double bond, and one single bond with ammonia, and another single bond with another ammonia group. So this is the structure of urea. NH2, C double bond O, NH2. This is the structure of ammonia, and one ammonia comes directly from ammonia, and one ammonia comes from aspartate during the process of urea formation. So one ammonia is directly trapped, and one ammonia comes from aspartate amino acid. This also you should remember. And this C double bond O means carbon comes from the carbon dioxide that is formed during TCA cycle or Krebs cycle. So sources of carbon in urea is from the carbon dioxide, which is converted to bicarbonate, and then it is used for the urea formation. And one ammonia comes from the ammonia directly, and another ammonia group comes from aspartate. Okay, so this is the sources of ammonia and carbon for the formation of urea in urea cycle. What is the significance of urea cycle, that also you should remember. So urea cycle is very important because it is involved in the detoxification of ammonia by converting it into urea, which is less toxic to the body compared to ammonia. And this urea is also required for the biosynthesis of amino acid called arginine. So that is why this urea cycle is very important to the body. So urea is the end product of protein metabolism. Urea is called as end product of protein metabolism. Follow carefully whatever I am talking, listen to it, because this urea cycle is very important. So urea is the end product of protein metabolism, or in specific you can say it as protein catabolism end product. It is important route for detoxification of ammonia. This urea cycle takes place in the liver, and from the liver it is released into the blood and excreted by the kidney. You should this point is very important. Urea is formed in the liver and transported to the blood, and then from the blood it is filtered by the kidneys and excreted in urine. Urea is highly soluble, non-toxic, and has a high nitrogen content. So it represents about 80 to 90% of nitrogen that is excreted in urine per day in a man. So that is why urea is very important diagnostic test for us. So you must be try to remember when you are going for the lab postings. You must have seen that we are getting urea creatinine test every day for many patients. Urea test is very important, especially in kidney patients, like chronic CKD patients. So this urea formation is very important because this is filtered by the kidneys. So this becomes as a very important diagnostic test in case of CKD patients. Now, biosynthesis of urea in man is an energy requiring process. So for the formation of urea, energy is required. It takes place partly in mitochondria and partly in cytoplasm. This urea cycle takes place in mitochondria partly and partly in cytoplasm. So first site of occurrence is liver. Subcellular site of occurrence for urea formation is partly cytosolic, partly mitochondrial. Means some reactions of the urea cycle are taking place in mitochondria, and some reactions of urea cycle are taking place in the cytoplasm of the cells. So this is the subcellular site. Subcellular site is mitochondria and cytoplasm. Now, what is the metabolic significance of urea cycle? Energy cost. Energy cost of the cycle is only 4 ATP. Means only 4 ATP are utilized for the formation of urea. So this is using less energy and detoxifying the ammonia from the body. That is one metabolic significance. Then very important metabolic significance of urea cycle is it has got connection with the TCA cycle. This is interconnected with the TCA cycle. How this is interconnected with the TCA cycle? Let us see. Carbon dioxide. Now carbon dioxide that is formed during TCA cycle as an intermediate product is utilized for the formation of urea. So this is one point how this is urea cycle is connected with the TCA cycle. Now second point is aspartate arises via transamination of oxaloacetate with glutamate. Aspartic acid is a acidic amino acid. This arises via transamination process by the intermediate amino acid compound called oxaloacetate with reaction with glutamate. So oxaloacetate, which is formed as an intermediate in TCA cycle, we must have seen, you must have seen this oxaloacetic acid is reacting with acetyl CoA in the beginning of the TCA cycle and is converted to citric acid cycle. And finally this oxaloacetic acid is regenerated in TCA cycle at the end of the reaction. So this oxaloacetate, which is a part of the TCA cycle, is used for the formation of aspartate by reacting with the glutamate. So oxaloacetate and glutamate, they combine and they gets converted to aspartate. So this aspartate is required in urea cycle formation, urea cycle synthesis. I will show you, when I show you the urea cycle, then you will understand how it is related, how it is connected with the TCA cycle. Then Thus, the depletion of oxaloacetate will decrease urea formation. So, if more amount of oxaloacetate is present, more amount of urea will be formed. If oxaloacetate is converted to aspartate, then there is less amount of urea formation. So this interconversion is also a factor for the increase of urea formation in the body. So this should operate in a balanced manner so that urea concentration is maintained at a normal rate in the body. Then fumarate, which is formed in urea cycle, enters in TCA cycle as an intermediate compound. Fumaric acid is converted to malic acid. There is a reaction in TCA cycle. So this fumarate is formed in urea cycle as a byproduct, and this enters into TCA cycle. So this is how urea cycle is connected to the TCA cycle. So you should remember, carbon dioxide formed in TCA cycle is utilized for the formation of urea in urea cycle. Then aspartate is formed from the oxaloacetate and glutamate, which is affecting the formation of urea. And then fumarate, that is formed as a byproduct in urea cycle, is required as an intermediate compound for TCA cycle. So this is how urea cycle is connected with the TCA cycle. So this is how, that is why this metabolic significance of urea cycle is very important, which is associated mainly with the TCA cycle. Next significance of urea metabolism, urea cycle is, it serves as a source of nitrogen. There is a two ammonia groups are there in the urea, so they serves as a source of nitrogen. So they can, by degradation, it can donate one free amino group and from one aspartate amino acid. Both are having amino groups. So this the ammonia, this urea, so serves as a source of nitrogen. This nitrogen balance in the body is very important. So glutamate is the immediate source for both ammonia and aspartate, because aspartate is formed from the glutamate in reaction with the oxaloacetate. So this glutamate is the immediate source for trapping this ammonia and aspartate. So nitrogen is trapped mainly in the form of glutamate and glutamine in our body. So this glutamate can trap ammonia and can also trap aspartate and gets converted to glutamine, and always serves as a major source of nitrogen. And urea also, because it can trap ammonia, it can also serve as nitrogen. So these are the important points about the metabolic significance of urea cycle. Now we are moving on to the actual urea cycle now. What we have discussed till now is the importance of urea cycle and its connection with the TCA cycle, and ammonia that is formed, how is getting converted to the urea, and from how this ammonia, which is formed in various cells of the body, is transported to liver, and what are the enzymes that are detoxifying ammonia. Ammonia in the sense glutamine is converted to glutamate in the liver. Finally this glutamate is releasing the ammonia, and that ammonia is trapped, and carbon dioxide from TCA cycle is trapped for the synthesis of urea cycle. So this is what we have seen. Now we are moving on to the actual urea